All right, so this bike right here is the Amyet S8. It is a dual motor, 2000 watt, 48 volt moped style e-bike. It's a great bike. I can hit speeds about 35 miles an hour. On a good charge, I can get about 20 miles per battery. I've got two batteries for this bike, thanks to the manufacturer, Amyet. It's got a headlight. It's got a display, hydraulic disc brakes. Let me turn it on here, actually. Overall, it's just a great bike. I can activate single mode, which is just the rear tire, or I can do dual mode, which will be both. In single mode, it's not super torquey, but I'll be able to get around at about 20 to 25 to 28 miles per hour. Once I activate dual mode, I can get about 35 to almost 40 miles per hour, depending on the terrain and the battery charge. I've made a few changes, things that mostly I had to replace, not really modify. I did replace the brake handles, calipers, rotors. I've replaced the pedals with Bucklos mountain bike style pedals. It does have dual shocks in the rear suspension, so there's one on each side. This seat isn't super comfortable, but for those shorter rides, it's not bad. Longer rides, it can get uncomfortable. So this is something that I will be replacing. I've already removed it to measure it, so it's a little loose right now. Now, it does have a 7-speed Shimano shifter. Now, if I'm being honest, with a bike like this, the moped style, it doesn't have the best seating position to actually use the pedals, let alone shift gears. So I mostly ride on throttle. Every now and then, I might take and actually pedal. You see, it can definitely take off on you. Now, these batteries, they can take a while to charge. The manufacturer says about 7 to 8 hours. From 0 to 100%. At around 50%, I've seen about 3 to 4 hours. I try not to ride it down too low, but sometimes I have no choice. These batteries are getting older, so I'm able to get maybe about 15 miles to the battery, which isn't bad. I've got two batteries. I carry a backpack so I can bring the other battery with me. Overall, it's a great bike. It's a great starter bike. It does have its issues, but it's not my last bike. I've got plans to get another bike, and I'll probably add to my collection and continue to have e-bikes. Now, one of my complaints about this bike is this headlight. At night, this headlight is not very bright. People can see me coming, but it doesn't reach where I need it to when I'm riding at night, because I love to ride at night. It's the best time of day to ride, with me being a father and stuff. It makes things a little bit easier to ride. I have had to replace both the front and rear motor. Warranty replacements, of course, because if not, these would be very expensive. The manufacturer sent me out replacements. I swapped them in myself. It's not super hard. It's actually a pretty easy thing to do as long as you have the correct tools. Make sure you have the correct tools. Don't hit anything with the impact if you don't need to. Torque it down to spec if you can. Of course, it's an e-bike. It's a moped style e-bike. So it looks just like every other moped style e-bike on Amazon. They all come from pretty much the same manufacturers. Everybody copies each other, but that's not a bad thing. The fact that they copy each other isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you just got to pay attention. You got to be willing to change things out and do some work yourself to make it a better riding experience. Like, I have HEB all-terrain tires. They're great tires. They're really thick. They can pretty much handle whatever I throw at them. Now, I have had situations where I've taken them out in the snow, ice, mud, rain, sand, gravel, and of course on the street, because that's what I prefer to ride on. And then they've done well. The previous tires that came on the bike, they were paper thin. I used to get flats all the times. I went through inner tubes like crazy. It's really sad, but that's my Amyet S8. If you guys have any questions, just throw it in the comments. Now, next, I want to talk about my chest pack. I love this chest pack. It is the West Slope Pro 180 Slim. It's a great chest pack. It's great for what I need it for. I've got a pouch here. I can put my phone in here, just kind of slots in there. My phone's a little bit bigger, so it is a tight squeeze, but it has this flap. I can actually record from my phone through here. Now, during the daytime, that's not a problem, but at night I get a lot of glare because of this plastic here on the front, reflecting different things. So it looks like a lot of lens flare. It also has side pouches here. If I can just find the zipper. Yeah, side pouch here. I can put my wallet, my keys, my multi-tool, AirPods, whatever I want, I can pretty much fit in here. And also, you'll notice that I have this orange wire that kind of runs around the entire pack. Now, that is a nighttime riding system, or light riding systems. You can pretty much see me at night. This lights up in an orange color. It flashes a slow blink, and it also flashes a slightly faster blink. Overall, it's just a great piece of equipment. It's super comfortable. I only have a few issues. Like I said, this plastic here in the front, and this plastic here can't really use Face ID. It, for some reason, the plastic tends to cover the front camera on my phone, and my phone can't see my face. So that's another issue. But when I take my gloves off, I can type in my code and get in my phone, no problem. Now, the other thing you'll notice is my gloves. These are JT Racing. I actually got these from another YouTuber who had an affiliate code. I was able to buy one, get one. So I have two sets of these gloves. I have this retro style with the highlighter, and it's got some blue, and this is like a pink color here. They're super comfortable. They have this like grippy texture on the palms here and the fingertips, and they just allow me to just be more comfortable when I'm riding. But I also have another set of JT Racing. These are red, of course, and they've got the superior camel, and they're like super comfortable. I don't wear these as much just because the red color, I don't want it to fade too fast. And you see the fingertips, I don't know if you can tell, but they're already kind of getting frayed a little bit. But I have had these for a while, and when I use my equipment, I use it. I don't baby my equipment. If I need to, I will, but I try to avoid babying any of my equipment. I just use it for what it's for. And you'll notice I don't have my helmet on today because I wanted to show you guys my entire setup here, okay? So this is the One Storm Dual Sport. It's meant for both street and off-road use. It has a built-in visor there on the inside. It's got some comfortable padding. I've never had issues with it. It's nice and tight on my head. It's got that new generation of release here. This is actually removable, so you can take it off and use this helmet on a motorcycle if you really wanted to. And I paired this with the Fod Sports FXS comm system. Now, this basically allows me to take calls, receive calls, and listen to music crystal clear, to be honest. I've never had any issues with it. It's got great battery life. It's got a microphone that I've wired over to the front here, and I have speakers on both the left and right side on the inside. It does have Siri. It does have some like control features with this little knob here. It is USB-C chargeable, and I just love it. It was about $70 on Amazon. Never had any issues with it, honestly. You'll see here the most prominent thing on the helmet, I believe, is this camera. Now, this camera is a generic Amazon POV thumb size camera. It's 4K 30. It's got a decent battery life and get about 90 minutes at 4K 30. Doesn't do so great at night, but during the daytime, I can get some great clips. I've got that paired with a custom chin mount from Chin Mounts, not sponsored. It just fits on the helmet really well. It doesn't even move. I can put all kinds of weight on it, and it doesn't shift much at all. I don't see that going anywhere anytime soon without some like major strength to yank that off. And yeah, that's my equipment. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, just type away in the comments. Let me know. I would appreciate it if you could like, follow, subscribe, ring-a-ling that ding-a-ling. And yeah, I'll be here, and there's more to come.